Joining me right now for analysis, conservative political commentator Gina Loudon and former chairman of the D.C. Democratic Party, Scott Bolden. So, Gina, I'll start with you. Did they do the right thing here, putting Jared Kushner out there, or do you believe that this is a sort of non-story and they run the risk of fueling or fanning the flames here?
Well, I absolutely believe there's a non-story here. There is just nothing. After all the investigations, Trish, I cannot believe the way that the left continues to throw this story out there as if there's a there where there is still zero
evidence. So does that make sense then to put Jared Kushner out there voluntarily today? Or are you just, now we're talking about Russia again?
I believe he's a smart guy, and I believe he can probably handle them. In fact, I think there's just a lot of brain power here going on the whole Team Trump that Washington, D.C. really is never prepared for, Trish. So I'm sure they know what they're doing, and I'm sure that they're doing their best to try to put an end to what has been a witch hunt.
I think they're making the right move, Scott, because my feeling on this is if you got nothing to hide, just come out with it. He said today, here are the 4 meetings that I had with Russians, and I think that that's the right approach. I've been saying, look, if you had a white Russian right at a bar and you worked on the Trump campaign, given the climate we're in, you got to come forward with it now. And let's just get it out of the way, because there's many more important things that we need to be doing. So from that perspective, I think it is very good that he got out there today and addressed the Senate Intel Committee. Your thoughts, Scott?
Well, it's certainly about time. I agree with you. As a former prosecutor, all we want is full disclosure and sharing what information that you have. The problem with Jared Kushner is that it's been drip, 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 that he's had to amend his security forms and his financial disclosure forms over and over again, that the White House, as well as Donald Trump, has called this fake news and a witch hunt. But let's remember, it's the Republican Justice Department, it's the Republican House and Senate who are investigating these issues. It's not the Democrats or the liberals, if you will. I'm not talking about the media. They can say whatever they want.
The president has made that point,
pushing
Scott,
this narrative.
that he doesn't think he's seeing enough in the way of loyalty from Republican lawmakers. That said, he kind of had a pretty good reason today. I mean, all things aside, right? And I hear you, you should disclose as much as you can initially, because it just looks bad, right, after the fact. But nonetheless, Gina, he said, hey, I didn't put any international contacts on that original disclosure form. My assistant sent it along mistakenly. We corrected it then, or tried to correct it right thereafter.
No mistakes like that, Trish.
Well, no, but it's not as though it was deliberately leaving out just the Russians, Gina. He left out all international contacts.
Yeah, and I mean, no one knew that the left was going to try to. He says drip, 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 drip. There is no drip, drip. This is just them lobbing accusation. No. Can I finish? This is you all lobbing continual accusations. That is not based on fact, not based on evidence, not based on proof. Counter that with the things that, we could be dripping about the Democrats, like Hillary Clinton and all the things that she's done. But that's not the style, because actually Republicans are interested in advancing the agenda of the American people that they elected this president to do. And that is the interest of Jared Kushner and of President Trump.
Well, Trish, let me just say this. Let's look at what we do know, and I won't go through the gory details of it, but you have the NSA, you have FBI and DOJ all saying that Russia meddled in our elections and picked up intercepting conversations.
That has nothing to do with the Trumps. That has nothing to do with the Trumps. We know that the Russians have tried to meddle in our elections for decades.
Of course it does.
Why would you say, of course it does? Why, if they're trying to influence, quote unquote, influence the campaign in some way, shape, or form, and maybe they didn't want Hillary Clinton there, although, she's the one that did the uranium deal with them, so they might have wanted to rethink that. Nonetheless, if we go with this premise here, I mean, what is it that you're trying to say that they actually did? Because it wasn't as though they were the ones who sat there and held her back from going to the Rust Belt and campaigning where she should have.
Well, the point here is that you have these institutions, the intel community, who has picked up these intercepts, picked up information more than we know right now, and has said, listen, I am 100% sure that Russia was trying to meddle in these elections.
Okay, what does that have to do with Donald Trump,
and
though?
You have, because
that has
some of those
nothing to do with Donald Trump.
because some of those intercepts and some of the documents that they've looked at are part of Donald Trump and the people connected to Donald Trump.
No, there's no evidence of that.
There are evidence of 5 or 6 of his closest campaign ads connecting with the Russians and talking to the Russians. It merits an investigation.
Because
these are the Republicans who are investigating.
I want hardcore examples. Walk me through it.
Every contact that Flynn had, every contact that Jared Kushner had, every contact that either Donald Trump or others.
3 contacts.
There are at least 18 contacts that we've counted of his 6 closest aides, including Mr. Sessions, who's the Attorney General, and he lied again about whether he had those contacts. You can't drink a White Russian
these days. You know, I guess I'm glad I'm an Irish American. It must be tough to be Russian.
If you drink a White Russian and I asked you, say I drank a White Russian, don't say I don't recall or I never drank it and swore on a document under penalty of perjury, and that's what Trump's people have done.
As though, you know, God forbid, your family origin happens to be from Russia and you have any contact at all with any member of the campaign.
If you do, tell the truth about it. Don't leave it off a disclosure form under penalty of perjury. And that's what Donald Trump and his people did.